Okay, welcome back, viewers of Tauren TBC. We have a new microphone and a new life. We are out of school, which means we are back into the arena. Thank you so much for your patience. Have some videos coming out for you soon, playing Enhance, Ellie, and Resto on 3 different Shamans, because I'm crazy like that. Alright, so today we're playing 3 DPS, Frost Mage, Ellie, Shadow, probably switching to Pompiro next session. Watch this warrior get deleted. It's pretty simple. And he's dead. Well, now he's dead. So this is a triple DPS comp. I put this game first because it really isolates people that leave position. So playing against this comp is a positioning 101, but we'll see it again here. So our targets are generally priests, or sorry, druids and warriors and double healer. If you've been getting slapped by double healer, play this comp. This warrior is about to get obliterated. That's me popping my damage. That's my other teammates popping their damage. And you'll see my Shadow Priest moving in there to get the silences and a group fear, which closes out the game. So, the gear I'm running is very spell power, crit, and haste focused. A lot of shamans are talking about how amazing haste is. I think haste is only good if you stack it. Otherwise, you want to run resilience and crit. My Ellie Shaman currently is kind of a secondary character because of my Resto Shaman. Been playing lots of Shadow play and some YouTube videos on that coming soon. But the whole point of getting lots of spell crit is your job as an Ellie Shaman is to one-shot things. You're never putting out sustainable DPS. Just like this. He's dead. So when it comes to playing against any of these teams that are running double healer, you're really looking to isolate someone who can't escape. So warriors are actually not your best target. Druids are secondary because you can lock them out with double silence. Quick little view of my gear there. It's mostly season 2 and 3. And then I'm running season 3 mace and I'm stockpiling points to make sure I can get the 40 resilience PvP trinket next season. And I'm also running the ZA hit ring. It has haste on it, but I'm really using it for hit. Alright, this is Turbo, I believe, or is this Double Healer? No, this is Double Healer, Shaman, Priest. This is the tougher variation for us, just because with a Druid, the heals are over time, so it's much easier to catch someone in a position and punish it. However, with the Shaman variation, they still have the NS, and the Warrior is putting out more pressure. So our goal is just to put out so much pressure that they can't keep up in heals. And that's possible when you're running Frost Mage, Shadow, Ellie. In general, the target on our team is going to be the Shadow Priest, and they'll swap to me when the Shadow Priest gets away. So you'll see me playing pretty aggressively in this comp, sitting down with drink here. The whole point of this is just to keep purges up while not sacrificing too much of your mana. Excuse my chair there. So the strategy we're moving with is we're kind of just waiting for them to make a mistake. We know that we can't go in on them, and I'd recommend leaving one buff that you can consistently get off to get Grounding Totem to go away. You're seeing me look at the Priest who doesn't have any buffs on him, can't really purge him to get rid of it. So I push in, snag it on the Warrior, move right back out. Warrior gets greedy, comes out. You're going to see us pop a Polymorph, and we're going to hard cast into that, and instantly running back. Um, I don't think we popped anything there. What you're going to want to look at is the bottom part of my screen and look at my lust button. Sometimes I don't even press it, but generally that is the signal that we're about to pop. The second signal you're looking for is the Mage blanket CSing the Priest or locking the Priest. Any of those things are good signals that we're about to pop. And by pop, I mean a Shatter, Ice Lance into Mind Blast, Shadow Word Death, Elemental Mastery, Chain Lightning, Nature Swiftness, Lightning Bolt. That's the full burst. So that's it right there. Now, see that we don't kill. However, we still have Lust. So I'm right now calling for my Mage to get back here, because the minute he goes in there, we sacrifice the positional advantage. We want to pull their team back out. At this point, they feel like they've won, but we still have Lust. We still have a massive amount of damage. So if anybody of their team comes out and wants to, try to get any damage through, they really have to sacrifice. So here comes the Warrior, and I'm going to be pretty much lusting right here while I'm moving. Should be popping pretty soon, unless my team... Yeah, here's the Lust. The Warrior is way out of position. Watch the damage here. Just the Frost Mage. So the benefit of this comp is instead of going for like really stylish polymorphs, if 2 people are allowed to do damage while the third one goes in for CC, that's really how 3v3 Arena operates, and this comp is very effective at just locking people down. There is a variation of this comp with the Palm Pyro Mage, and I'll be sending out a video of that pretty soon here. Alright, so this comp, these guys, I believe this is RMS, basically a really aggressive version of RMP. The Shaman, look where he's at. I'm calling it my team. I'm going to pop my damage super early here because there's no reason not to. The Shaman's never going to be able to catch up. So there's a lightning bolt with elemental mastery attached to it. Hard casted chain lightning into his death. And at this point I turn into a healer to make sure my Shadow Priest doesn't die. And now I'm stopping the the polymorphs from the mage. Only reason you're going to lose 2v3s is if you get CC'd. Had this mage actually given an effort, they probably could have taken this, as we were out of buttons and they had 2 targets without Trinket. But alas, when you're playing at 2k MMR, sometimes people mess around. And this is at 2k MMR. Our team rating's right around 1870, 1890. But that's just because we, chilling until the season resets. These games are all playing against people that are pushing to get their duelists, their glads, and it's really fun to play against high skill level players. Alright, this is RMP. So RMP is a little tough. You want to put our mage very aggressively placed. You'll see that he's back here. I'm trying to shout at him to move out because he's the only player on the team that can kind of deal with the amount of rogue DPS that's coming. So one of the big things that you do against RMP is the sap's going to go out, and it's totally okay that it's on the mage. What you don't want to do is let the priest get sapped, your Shadow Priest, and it's probably going to happen anyway. It's very hard to prevent. So what we're looking for is an opportunity to just press our buttons first. RMP is a complete race, and it doesn't really matter about doing it at the right time. It's more about just getting them out. RMP heals is pretty mediocre, and I missed the Flame Shock there. If you do successfully get a Flame Shock on a rogue that you get out, it forces Cloak or it forces the priest to come out to get a Dispel. Either way, very good button to press. But yeah, we're just kind of waiting around. As you can see, classic RMP. Um, just waiting, strategizing, figuring out how to put their cookie cutter in the right place. RMP is just one of those comps that can be really frustrating to play against, and as 3 DPS, you kind of just throw crap to the wind, press all your buttons, and if you win, you're stoked. If you don't, you get the next game, and you get to play a whole game of Arena in like 30 seconds because of how fast your games are, except against these RMP comps that sit back for 1,000 years. We can't go in on them because if we get sapped out of position, we get isolated, polymorphed, and our burst is not going to happen at the same time. So we saw a window together to get combat, and our mage somehow gets sapped right after spell stealing. Our priest gets a fantastic fear there in the opener, and we get a trinket from the rogue and cloak. So at this point, we're in a pretty good capital position. I'm going to pop my damage onto this mage here as soon as I can. I'm actually going to trinket that blind right off the bat. Going to shock the poly. And this is going to be my damage onto the mage as soon as he rounds that corner. So watch this mage lining his heals. I'm basically just purging, keeping the shatters off my team. And we're waiting and just waiting until this mage comes around. Here comes my damage here. Priest is going to come in and dispel me. And he doesn't get it, leaving me with a Ellie Frost. Now I love playing with a Frost Mage in 2, so I'm pretty familiar. So I'm shouting that we have to go Rogue. It's really tempting to go Priest, and you'll see that we swap pretty soon here. Just watch the positioning. So Rogue goes to line, and look where the Priest is, sitting in a poly. The Rogue needed to stay in, but instead he didn't. So we get to just play around and CC his healer, and I believe we end up killing the Priest here. Let's see. Yeah, there's the Cloak. Okay, now watch this priest swap. I still have all my damage. We get the CS. I send the lightning bolt. There's the chain lightning. And at this point, it's me making sure he doesn't get a castable heal because he doesn't have anything else. And we 2v1 a rogue, which is a troll rogue, strangely enough. But we take any win against a rogue because they're frustrating. So again, this game was I left the whole game in here because I wanted you to see how important it is to swap to somebody who's in a bad position. Getting the first kill doesn't really matter where people are, it just matters that you have your buttons to press. The second kill, you hit whatever you can. So if you are playing 3 DPS, hit what you can, not what you should. Just demonstrating team rating there. This was double healer game, and I included this game because I think it's a really good show of how much damage this comp can put out. Watch our uptime here. So purging priest because it's a potential kill target in the future, but I'm really looking for the warrior. Mana burns don't really matter. If they want to waste globals on that, I'm fine. generally this comp doesn't go because if we're we die anyway because we're never going to get a reset. So I'm just letting them cast those, get this Entangling Roots on me, and the warrior takes that as a, hey, I'm going to go charge him. So generally I let that go, because again, if the warrior charges me, that's a very good thing. So I'm watching for Cyclones, because that's the one I want to stop. And I'm probably going to end up having to Trinket this. I believe it's later in the game. Anywho, my job is just to make sure my team's burst happens at the same time. That's what the Shaman's job is. I press my buttons, my damage is instant, my teammate's damage is not. We're in no rush, we're waiting for them to make a mistake. The warrior presses Death Wish, which means he's dead. Death Wish equals he takes more damage, equals we press our buttons faster. So you're going to see me press Lust here pretty quick. Probably going to be all of our cooldowns into the warrior. So we're in this capital position, in this problematic position where our mage is low health, our priest is out of gas, and they've lined us. This is basically how double healer wins every game. It's very frustrating. However, one thing that you always want to look out for whenever you're playing against triple healer is anybody that's out of position. I believe this ends up being a loss. Oh no, I can't even remember. Let's see what went. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, we kill a warrior here. Yeah, and here comes my damage. He's dead. So again, don't ever give up hope with this comp. Kind of an emotional roller coaster I took you on there. But that's how it is playing this comp. You can literally turn the game around, especially against double healer because they only have 1 DPS. You can really switch it around in a matter of seconds. All right, this game. So this is again, I'm showing all these. I believe this is double healer. No, this is yeah, this is double healer. So I'm showing these double healer games because they're super prevalent in the bracket right now, and they try to respond in a. I get, sorry, really good poly there. Do you see that Pain Sup is already off the warrior? There's no defensive this guy has, and his priest is not far enough to help him, so he's just dead. Like, their comp has to play pretty perfect on the defensive side of things in order to survive our burst. And what they did there is they responded to our all in by going all in with an early Pain Sup and staying in with Death Wish. What that really means is we're just going to lock down a warrior and silence the priest and wait until Pain Sup goes away and then one-shot him. It's a really, really strong counter comp to double healer. So if you guys are looking for a way to stomp double healer back, it's a great way to give it a go. Okay, this is Enhance Warrior Druid, Classic Turbo. Look at this warrior, look at his positioning. I target the Shaman to get the Grounding Totem to go away. I Lust. He is in absolute China. He's not pressing his defensives, and he's going to get two-shotted by my lightning bolts there. So, the reason I love playing this comp is Elemental Shaman at all is extremely difficult to play. And it's because we have no gap closers, we have no way to get away, everything we do is castable. It's just so, every global we have is either purge, damage, or heal. There's also a fourth option, which is shock, but it's in the triple DPS comp. You don't really have to worry about the shock global as much because you're going to be shocking before you press your damage. That's why I love this comp. It's very simple to learn, and if you're playing it with the Palm Pyro variation that I'll be posting a video of soon, keep your eye out for that. Maybe even throw me a subscribe if you want to see it. But the whole point of this comp is to open up 2 big bursts at the same time. Now this is a team, I include this game again because this is a team that we've played like 15 times in this session, and they keep trying to adapt to our playstyle, and they actually started taking games off of us by having the Shaman push because they know that we never want to go Shaman. And there's a reason for that. Our silences suck against Shaman. They have so many wonderful things about that class that make it hard to kill when it's isolated. We want the warrior. So we are in no rush. However, as per normal warrior behavior, he charges. They did learn that going our mage is the fastest way to take a win. And we learned in return that if the mage is getting gone on, we're going to go return all of our damage onto the priest. And you'll see that he's just dead, and then I turn into a healer and keep the mage up. So depending on who the target is from their team, meaning that who they're targeting on your team, you can choose a different target on their team that takes away the reason why they targeted the person on your team. So if they go our mage, that means they're looking for a mass dispel, right? They're trying to get bubble off, or ice block. Well, if they're trying to get Ice Block off, who should we go on their team? Probably the Priest. So if you're new to Arena and you haven't made that connection yet, it's a fantastic way. Ooh, I just stole that guy's NS. I feel bad, but he plays double healer, so I don't feel as bad. The whole point of playing Shaman is to make sure every single global is being used, because that means you're doing the only job you can do. We can't CC, we can barely heal. Just press your buttons. Nothing feels worse than pressing Elemental Mastery at the end of the game when you've already lost. Okay, going into some of our last games here. This is a great WLD game. We're looking. Curse of Tongues takes our entire comp and makes us sad quickly. Even though we have Curse of Tongues removal via the Mage, it slows us down, and anything that slows us down means dots are ticking. We don't have a healer technically, so it's just hurting a lot. Look at this full fear Druid choosing not to Trinket, and we're gonna full on punish it. Press every button in our repertoire. He has Bark Skin up, and he should die to the last little water bolt there. Warrior Druid can actually 2v3 in this scenario, but we usually just kind of spam polys and CSs, and usually the warrior will just die, especially if you've got Death Wish up like that. I'm running the Dark Iron Smoking Pipe. I have done Zolomon like 12 times, no luck on head, rip. It's our Mage gear. Shadow Priest gear is very similar, stacking Resilience. The Shadow Priest should be stacking Resilience, the Mage should be stacking Haste, and the Elder Shaman I would recommend stacking Crit in this comp. Alright, moving forward. I believe this is a turbo game. These guys have actually destroyed us multiple times in a row. The Shaman is a bait target. If you go Shaman, you lose all your momentum. So what we're really looking for here is a kill on the Warrior and just maximum uptime. So watch how many times we switch. So Warrior goes back. Shaman has Shamanistic Rage up, but we're going to do it anyway. We're looking for uptime. Now the Warrior is going to come back out, right back onto the Warrior. Keep punishing. Here's Death Wish. That's a really good sign for us. He gets a resist. And now Warrior comes back. I press my damage. We could chase here, but we don't. We swap onto the Shaman, who's way above half health, and we kill. Now it's a 2v2 in this scenario. The Druid's behind, and the Warrior kills himself by walking out. So against Shaman-based turbo, you're looking for uptime. Uptime is king. It's the most important thing, and the priest version of that comp is actually easier because priests are easier to CC. Lastly, we have two games to end really quick here. This is where I pulled my thumbnail. Just watch the Warrior's health. It's probably the most beautiful thing in the world. It's why I play this game as Ellie still. It happens once a session. Nighty night. When it happens, it's a beautiful thing. When it doesn't happen, you want to swap to Resto. We all know that feeling if you play Ellie. And that's the Paladin, and then that's the end of the game. I included that because we win every game against that comp. They just have very little they can do. It's like, what are they going to do? Bop the Warrior? Woohoo. We kill him anyway. And this, I believe, is a mirror match. Huge shout out to their team. I included this game because we won, and it's pride. But these guys, we played them 3 times. They beat us 2. We beat them this 1 time. We did make a good adaptation here. Instead of going for the Shaman, we went for the Priest. And that caused the Priest to be very out of position, which then my teammates capitalized on. They've successfully killed me almost every time, and Mage Shadow Priest kills Mage Ellie. So this is kind of the 2v2 that we were hoping to set up. We were hoping to just sacrifice me and let them set up this 2v2. This is a really tough 2v2 for them to win. They've got to get some insane lockouts, and I believe they chose to go for a blanket when they shouldn't have. Our Mage goes in pretty bold. Sorry, that's our Shadow Priest. Watch our Mage's positioning. Again, really just looking to 1v1 duel the Mage, and then the Shadow Priest is dueling the Shaman. It's a totally acceptable duel. This is kind of why we wanted to set up this way. If we could take out their Shadow Priest first, we knew that we could win the duel. And that's it for today's games. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm almost to 1,000 subscribers, which would be pretty exciting. So if you guys could keep subscribing and sharing this video to your Shaman discords, and if you're watching this as double healer, share it to your double healer discords, and you guys can all laugh and see how sad and mad I am at the comp. Enough to play triple TPS just to beat it. But you guys can catch my next video coming out before the end of this week. It's going to be with the Palm Pyro variation, and I'll see you then. Peace.